Welcome back to Vibes by Alicia, the podcast. I'm thrilled that you're here and giving me a bit of your ear to hear stories and ideas that I find meaningful and inspiring. This podcast is designed to encourage all of you to be so inspirational that other people crave your vibes. Guys, we are heading the end of the season, and for this ending and for this episode, I am joined by my fabulous writer, Arlette.
Hey, y'all.
Is it Arlette or is it Arlo? What do you want to go by?
Let's do Arlo, just to sound cooler. I'm so excited to be back. Oh, my God. I haven't been in this podcast for like a year or two.
I know. Because you were with me back in 2020 when we first started. Remember doing it from the study in my house?
Oh, my God. It's been quite a while.
I know. We would connect the little Yeti to the laptop. Oh, my gosh. I know. I love it.
And we're actually here in a full-blown studio. Your own full-blown studio. Look at that growth. Look at that.
Okay, season 8. We're heading towards year 3. March 2020 was the first time that we recorded, so it's going to be 3 years. 3 years. 2023 will be 3 years. Season 8, guys, is coming to an end. This is episode 11. Episode 12 is next week, and you are going to be hearing some of the best of season 8 for that. And today we're talking a little bit about travel. And what I'm actually going to be doing is taking you guys through my travel prep. Something that I haven't done before, but a lot of people want to know about because you all know that I love to travel and I'm always, out and about somewhere, some part of the world. And this time for Thanksgiving, we're leaving actually a little earlier before Thanksgiving. We're heading out to the French wine country.
French wine country.
Yeah. We haven't been there yet. It's one of those places that we've been postponing for years simply because Rusk, my husband, just wasn't ready. He was like, I need to learn more. I need to learn more about wine before I head out to that is like the epitome, like the height of all wine for him, Oof. So it's like a dream come true for him. And he's studying wine. Did I tell you that, Arlette?
Yeah. He's an actual sommelier, right?
No, he's on a course sort of to get to that place, but he doesn't want to do sommelier because he says he doesn't want to do the service component. He just wants to learn as much as he can about wine. But yeah, not quite there. He is certified in WSET3, which is a certification that's given through London. And he does the courses at a school, the Art of Cellar, and he does the courses there. And he just finished a course on Spanish wine, and most recently a course on Texas wine. So,
oh, look at y'all, fancy!
He's one of those people that's always learning. Kind of like you. You're always learning something new. Every time I see you, you learned a new language or you learned about something in linguistics or you read a book. I love that. People that are always seeking to know more and learn more. It's awesome.
It's
great.
It's amazing how much you think you know and then you realize you don't. And the most beautiful thing is that precisely when you pair it up with a full immersion experience, like what your husband wants to do. He wants to go to France to actually go to the French wine country and actually explore how these things are made.
And it's not that easy to get there. We're actually in this whole, episode that I'm going to be talking about is a little bit about the prep and what goes into it. And there's no direct flights to Paris. That we have to go Houston, Chicago, Paris. There used to be a direct flight before COVID, and it changed.
Oof.
And so on our way back, we're actually going to be doing Paris to, I believe, Amsterdam, and then Houston. So I think it's a little bit of a way out, and I think the flight's going to be a little bit, for sure, definitely long because we just don't have that much of time of a layover. I think it's only 2 hours in Chicago, and then we grab the next plane. And guess what? In this travel prep, I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm actually taking a carry-on an international flight. I did it for Mallorca, But I kind of cheated because I brought like an extra big bag, and this time I'm not. I have to figure out how I'm gonna fit outfits for 7 days in a carry-on bag.
Ooh. Whoa.
And you know I love my shoes.
Yes.
I love my outfits. I love my whole like pairing, taking a top for this, taking shoes for that, evening wear. It's going to be a little chilly. It's going to be in the 60s and 50s.
Okay.
So I definitely have to bring jackets. I have to bring a raincoat. It definitely rains. It's wet season right now, so it's fall.
Mm-hmm.
And so the weather, I checked it. So part of travel prep is like learning like what the weather's going to be like when you're going, because you have to prepare your outfits, right? And I think it's something that we definitely talk about as we've been working on a really cool project.
Yes.
I can't wait to share this with everyone. So Arlo and I have been working together for years, and one of the things that Arlo is so good, and she's the best that I know. She's a phenomenal writer. So when my ideas come and they're in my head and they're percolating, I'm like, okay, Arlo, we need to sit down. I need to just dictate all this stuff to you so you put it together and make it beautiful and grammatically correct. How many times do I text you to check my grammar?
So many times. This girl will catch me on the highway driving. Can you please check this? And I'm like, that's what you did last time. I was with my mom. We were driving down the highway, and I'm trying to drive and looking at this. And she's like, can you please stop? And I'm like, I swear it's important.
You know what, though? I've always felt pretty comfortable with my grammar. I've always felt pretty good about it. But I've always been the type that's, English is my second language. So I never feel like fully comfortable. Like I know my grammar exactly correct, right? But I do pretty well. But it's your second language as well. English is your second language, but you definitely know like all the rules, where the commas go, apostrophes, all those rules that I think I take for granted. You kind of know them off the top of your head. Like, oh yeah, you're supposed to put an apostrophe S here. You're not supposed to say it this way. You just switch these words. I love how you just know that.
It comes from being a walking encyclopedia, yo. It's not fun. It's taken years and years of being the boring one at parties.
But it's come in handy now.
For sure.
So guys, we've been working on this really beautiful project, something that I'm so excited to share with all of you, because Arlette and I have just literally finished, and it's being published, a beautiful, beautiful
ebook. A beautiful ebook.
And we're calling it Crafting the Life You Wish to Live, World Travelers Edition. And it is a 6-week checklist for the destination trip of your dreams.
It is. Oh my goodness. And may I say so myself, as one of the things that I am, like, I saw it and you have no idea how proud I am to see the words that I typed, the knowledge that Alicia is giving out to all of you. It's priceless.
It's
however,
so good.
However, of course, like you guys, I highly, highly recommend taking into consideration the advice of somebody who is just so worldly, so traveled, somebody who's done this at least once a month, every year, for the majority of their lives. And there is nobody else that I would trust with so much knowledge when it comes to traveling. And I mean, that comes from somebody who's traveled a lot for her short age.
You sure have.
And still,
I love that.
I am always looking for the best advice in order to be able to craft my best trips. And in this case, I know for a fact that I trust Alicia when it comes to making destination trips. Those trips that you just dream about, the trips that you take pictures, Instagram-worthy pictures of, the ones that you want to talk about. Alicia and her husband are most likely the best people I would know. The best people I know who would be able to give me the best advice when it comes to this.
And you know what? All of the stuff that's in this ebook, Arlette, is stuff that that is experience-based, but also something that I find most valuable and a good resource for you to have if you're looking to do the travel of your dreams. This handbook, this ebook, will include all of the different things that entail prepping for 6 weeks. Like for me, I'm prepping for France right now. And so as I'm prepping and I'm leaving next week, my mother got sick this week. She got very, very sick this week. But because I have this checklist, I have this ebook, because I have this this resource, I'm not worried, and I wasn't concerned that I wasn't going to be prepared, even though my mother was in the hospital, even though she's been in the hospital, and I'm still kind of checking in on her, because I'm prepared, because I've been following my own 6-week checklist. I feel comfortable that I'm going to be okay. As soon as she's done with everything that she's going through this week, all I have to do is just pack now, because as I go through in this book, and something that I feel is like so important, it's a 6-week ebook. And we go week 6, we brainstorm, we do flight reservations, we do a little bit of that. We give you some of my favorite travel IG accounts. We give you some of the best tips for making flight reservations.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The best days, the best deals, where you can find them.
Exactly. We talk about lodging and transportation, how to get from one place to another in the most economical, in the most efficient way. Like there's a few ideas in there for that. More lodging and transportation. We give you, also like what kinds of things to take with you in terms of communication. Because that's one of the things that a lot of people worry about. Like, how am I going to communicate with everybody here? Especially people who are in business and they're leaving people behind, like a manager or somebody in charge. They worry a lot about that. So we talk about that as well, because obviously Rusk and I run businesses as we travel as well. So we definitely give you all some of that. We also share some of our favorite places, what we've done, how to make it less stressful and most fun out of a trip. It should not be stressful. It should be fun from the moment you're prepping to the moment you're there.
And not just a regular trip, like, I'm just going to grab my bags and go to Miami for a weekend. It's like an actual full big ass trip.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to the French wine country. We're going to Mallorca. We're going to Cartagena.
It's in here. You know why I wanted to add Cartagena in here? Because it's a great place.
It's a beautiful place.
It is so much fun. It's so exciting. And so we're including details on tours that we used, people that we trust that took us from one place to another. We're giving you guys so much good stuff in this ebook. I mean, Arlette, hello. How fucking good is this?
I think it's one of the best. I am so happy that I got to look at this content while I was writing it. You have no idea.
I know, it's so good. It's amazing. So that's going to be a part of the prep, and I'm like excited to share that with you. That ebook will be coming out very soon, because it's going to be included in a very special holiday promo that you guys need to stay in tune for and definitely want to check out. It's going to include a lot of really cool stuff that we've been preparing maybe 3 months now, Arlo. I think it's been 3 months now that we've been preparing for this beautiful holiday promo. Yes. We definitely wanted to give as much value as possible. I think one thing that we talked about earlier, because you mentioned, like, why do we do this? And I said, because I feel like if I know something, I want to share it. If I know how to do something easier, better, more efficient, quicker, without headaches, I'm sharing it. I'm definitely going to tell you guys how to do it so that you take it and say, okay, I can do this. I have the resources. There's a checklist. There's stuff in there that's so fucking useful that you're going to be so amazed that you didn't think of it. I mean, we talk a little bit about like coordinating around your cycle too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You know, things that a lot of... But see, these are things that women think about, right? Like you look at your dates, you look at your calendar, and you're like, oh shit, I'm going to be on my period, and I'm traveling, and you don't want to be on your period when you're traveling because it's fucking annoying.
Do I take my own tampons? Do I buy them over there? I know,
you have to take all your stuff with you, and then you have to wonder if you're going to have access to a restroom, if you're going to have access, who wants to go into an airplane. Like, we talk about that in this ebook, guys, because I am not holding back anything. I am giving you all as much information, as much detail as possible, because I believe you deserve that.
Of course. And if you have any additional suggestions, things that we can add, please do tell us in the comments. Do tell us that what you want to know, what particularly you want to know more about, because we want to write about this for you guys. And Alicia has so much knowledge that she can share with all of us.
Not only that, but my husband Rusk also included in this ebook an itinerary, a sample itinerary for you all, so that you can also see how we can, how you can create something so cool and so special. And so his itinerary includes vaccine information. Okay, I'm not going to give you guys too much because you guys have to get it. Okay, let's stop giving them info.
But on that note, then let's go straight into the travel prep for this trip. So you said you're going into the French wine country. Do you know particularly which area you're going into?
Yep. So we're going to an area called Reims. It's spelled Reims. And I'm going to tell you real quick, one of the hotels that we've already booked is, let's see, what's it called? It's here. It's in French. You know French. You might be able to read it better. So it's actually, we're starting off in France, but we're taking a train. We're taking trains, by the way. So we're going to talk a little bit about trains.
You mean Paris? You're starting off in Paris.
We're arriving in Paris, and then we're taking a train. I believe, so here it is. La Ville de Reims. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
I think so. So Reims, France is the first place we're heading to. And so there's going to be a few wine places that we're visiting there. He already called ahead of time to make sure that they have accommodations. A lot of what we've been told is that French wineries are very particular about who they bring in, so you have to kind of know somebody to get in. But others are a little bit more open. But of course, Rusk is interested in just all those exclusive places.
Of course.
So he's already contacted all his sommelier friends, and they're like, okay, where's my hookup? I need to go. I need to find out. And I just noticed it's 50 degrees in Reims.
Ooh, 50 degrees, y'all.
I've definitely started thinking about what I'm going to be packing. So I'm packing definitely long sleeves. I'm packing things that are going to be layers. So in terms of like cardigans, I'm definitely doing pants. If I do like maybe a pair of shorts, I'm probably going to do tights under there because I'm cold. I mean, I'm Latina. I'm definitely cold all the time. Yeah. My husband will be walking around in a t-shirt and he's totally fine. Not me. Okay. He says he's a polar bear because his family's Czechoslovakian. He's used to that. Such a mess. Anyway, so we've already decided we're visiting a cathedral, one of the La Cathédrale Notre Dame de Reims. It's like one of the most important places to visit. We're visiting Champagne, so that's an area where Champagne is very big. So we're doing a little bit of that. I've also looked at Dom Perignon, so he's looked at maybe doing a tour at Dom Perignon, which is one of the most special places to visit. It's very popular, so we're definitely doing that. And then we're doing a little trip to Strasbourg, which is in closer to the German border. And so we're heading over to Strasbourg. We're staying in a 16th century building. It's very historical. It's so beautiful. We've already located where that is. And guys, if you look at my ebook, you're going to see how we find all that information. It's going to be in the ebook. You're like, how do you know where to go? How do you know what to find? It's going to be in the ebook. Don't you worry about that. So that's in there. And then we're going to be doing a little bit of a train ride down to, so it's Strasbourg. And then there's another area. Let me find it really quick for you. But a part of this whole trip planning and why the ebook was so important, because so many people don't know where to go and what to do. They'll say, well, I definitely want to go there, but how? And how do I plan this? And how do I put it together? It's not that hard, guys. Once you do one, I think it becomes easier to do 2 or 3, 4, and eventually as many as you want. So my job in the travel planning is finding places to eat and cafes to try. Like, that's my job. His job is to like put the whole thing together and like do the flights and the hotels. And then he's like, okay, you find us where we're gonna go eat, or where we're trying all these different things. And he's actually the one that's booked the tours.
Ooh.
So that's going to be so much fun. So definitely follow me at the Alicia E for my personal account, but also on the podcast, Advised by Alicia. I'm going to be posting photos and videos on there as well of the places that I'm visiting so that you all can know. And make sure you save those posts so that when you go to French wine country, you'll know where to go.
Wait, but tell me, why do you choose these dates or this season to go?
Well, number one, because he's finally comfortable in like trying, and he's doing French wine. He's doing French wine right now in his studies, so that's definitely been a big part of why. The other thing is it's the fall, so it's harvest season. It's a little bit, you get to see a little bit of the harvesting, so that's also quite fun. And the other thing is, when you travel to Europe in the low season, which is now the low season, it's a little bit cheaper. It's not as expensive as like the summertime. So you're definitely getting a better deal in terms of like flights and hotels. So that is a great time to travel to Europe right now.
And now you guys know too, if you're into wines, it's harvest season. You get to also experience that in France.
Exactly. So that's where we're doing, and that's where the planning is happening right now. And so in terms of a week, 1 week away, my ebook has a little bit of like, if you want to do photography there, I talk about that. And how to prepare for all of those things. Emergency preparedness, I talk about that in the ebook as well. So a ton of really, really good stuff, guys.
Tell me, how are you feeling coming up, like with this trip coming up?
I
Like,
feel
especially
great.
you were saying, like, we designed this for all of you guys to feel safe and comfortable as this trip is approaching. So you tell me a little bit about how you're feeling now, that you know that all of this is set up, you know what you're doing next week, you know where you're going, but how do you feel leaving home?
Well, that's always difficult because I have 2 teenagers. So
And I'm taking care of those teenagers.
you are, I know. I haven't told you yet, but I need you to check in on my kids. By the way, they're like, Mom, we don't need anybody to check in on us. We're good. We're good, Mom. We're older. We're fine. You do not need to send anyone. I still send people to check on them because, and also I'm the only, one of the reasons why I do leave them behind is because my in-laws are only 5-7 minutes away, literally. And so they're always there to kind of keep an eye on the boys and check in on them. And so, I'm not worried about that. They're always in good hands. And my brothers and my sister, everybody just keeps an eye on my kids. Like, we have a really beautiful community that just does all of that. So we're good. We're good on that particular component. So yeah, but it's not easy. I mean, we're moms. I'm a mom. I'm a parent. So I definitely worry about all those things.
Alrighty, but you do feel like you have left everything like well and settled, and you're ready to go. Your trip is set. Everything is perfect. When it comes to your mom, like, you feel, at least now you know that like you're gonna be traveling, and you have all of this, like, for on that side everything is already set up and it's already ready. But for like leaving home, like, you right now you have the time to spend leaving everything else ready. Like,
Yeah. So definitely it's all about the prep.
Exactly.
It's all about the prep. It's all about leaving everything prepared and ready to go, because that way you have, security, and you feel good that things are going to be okay, and you leave everything behind. And I've trained my kids too. I've worked with them over the last 2-3 years, on how they need to kind of like handle themselves when anything is happening or anything is going on. They're pretty mature. They're pretty intelligent. If anything, if my kids were a hot mess, I wouldn't be leaving them. But the boys are very good about, being responsible. They try to prove to us that they can manage things on their own. And so we're like, okay, prove it. And, they get perks. They really do. They get a lot of perks whenever they prove themselves.
They're great kids. Like, not gonna lie, I literally, when it's been my turn to check on them, and I just knock and I'm like, hey guys, have you eaten?
Yeah.
Your Max is like, yeah, I ate. Alex like, yeah, I ate outside. I don't care. It's like, but they're wonderful.
They're good. And so right before we leave out of town, we do a quick grocery check, make sure they've got everything they need. I make sure that all the uniforms are ready to go for the little guy who is a ninth grader. He's in high school. Make sure that all the stuff is, signed off and people know. And obviously we leave knowing that we have people that can come in and jump in. Otherwise, I don't think I would go anywhere. I couldn't leave them behind.
And that is what prep is all about, yo. That's why you want to have a nice process for planning your trips, especially for planning something as big as this, something that means so much to you. You want to be able to have that extra time when you're done to make sure that while you're traveling and having fun, everything else at home is okay, it's accounted for, and it's set up.
And you know what I want to mention also, Arlette, is it's important when you've been married a long time to go and have trips with your husband on your own.
Oh, yes.
Without your kids.
Yes.
I think that's something that doesn't happen a lot because I think we have that mom guilt or that parent guilt. Like, why would we leave our kids and go off and have our good time? Because it really strengthens the couple. It really strengthens us as a couple. If you've been married it'll be 22 years on our trip to France. We'll be turning 22 years on November 18th. So we'll be over there when we turn 22 years. And honestly, I can say to you that it really strengthens our relationship. It really makes us reconnect with each other. When we're here and we're working, by the way, we work together, so we're always together. He and I are working. We work real estate together, so we're constantly doing things together. It becomes very work-oriented, right? And so sometimes you forget that you are a couple. You forget that you do love each other, and it's not always business. Sometimes we turn on the business mind, and we're like, oh, did you check on that person? Did you check on this tenant? Did you call so-and-so to make sure they send, a person to check on that? Did you call the plumber? Like, there's so many things that could be very business-oriented in terms of what we do because we work together as a couple. And then when we go on a trip, we completely disconnect from that, and we become just us. However, being type A personalities, we're both ESTJs, which that tells you that we're fucking neurotic about our business and our work.
Yes.
We're always working. We're always working. People can always find us, and they can check in with us. Our realtors know that they can call us at any time of the day. Even if we're in Europe, it doesn't matter. You can call us. You can talk to us when you need us for anything. That's just who we are. We don't disconnect in that sense just because that's just our personality. It's wonderful if people can do that. We can't. Neither one of us can do that. Rusk and I are just built very different. That's just not who we are. However, it really is a time for us to just reconnect as a couple, as just he and I, not, people that are running a business here in Houston and doing our thing. And I'm, not even considering all of that. He's taking my photos for Instagram. He's my Insta husband. He's, over there picking my wine, and I'm over here dressing him and try this because you can match with me.
A true power couple. A true power couple. You'll complement each other so nicely.
You know what? And it's been so funny that, over the years we've become so in tune with each other that sometimes we don't have to say anything and we just know, what's up. Anyways, that's travel prep. Our book is coming, guys, so look out for that. It's coming. It's a
so
beautiful
exciting.
book. It's been constructed with love and care and so much just goodness in it. So watch out for that. So this is reaching towards the end of the season. I'm hoping that all of you have a wonderful, most amazing Thanksgiving. I appreciate you. I give thanks to all of you who are listeners, who have been with me through this whole journey. We are growing so fast. We just reached another benchmark today. I am so excited. Tell your friends about the episodes. If you find an episode that is really good and you found it to be especially helpful, share it with your friends. Please tell them about it.
And let us know. Again, please let us know everything you want to know that we can possibly help you out. It doesn't matter how controversial or how weird it might seem to you guys. Believe us, we want to go in there and we want to talk about it and we want to hear you out.
Absolutely. Very good point, Arlette. Thank you, guys. We love you. We appreciate you. Share this with your friends. Tell everybody about it. And look out for either a newsletter or email. If you're not in the newsletter, you can go to tbbbyalicia.com and sign up for the newsletter. That email will come out as soon as we have this ebook ready to share with you. But it's going to be included in a bundle with one more special thing that we've just gotten today, too. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And we're excited.
Woo! So look out for that. It's coming. Don't you worry. Thank you and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has a safe and excellent. If you're traveling, please, be careful. Take care of yourself and look at the schedules ahead of time. If you can do a carry-on, do a carry-on because people are losing bags right now.
Yes.
I don't want anybody losing my stuff, okay? Even if it means I only bring one pair of shoes, I am definitely doing a carry-on.
She'll figure it out, y'all.
I'm going to